happy Friday, happy hour, happy Memorial Day weekend. And of course, we always have something red, wear something red, or drink out of something red on Friday because we RED, remember everyone deployed. And especially on this Memorial Day weekend, we want to say thank you for your service to all the servicemen and women, and of course, their amazing family members who stand beside them and serve with them for our country. So we're forever grateful. The qualia is flying. I think I'm saying that right. Qualia. I don't know. And Uncle Cliff we were driving back from Mom's today, and Uncle Cliff was tweeting about quantum computing, and that this satellite was not only listening, but talking back, maybe answering. And then Sean Ryan, you guys know, one of my favorite podcasters, had this interview last night with this guy. I'm going to be playing a quick little clip, but there are great advances. And he's talking about energy and new ways of energy. And then today, Trump signs EOs all around nuclear energy and releasing innovation in America for the golden age of energy and getting rid of woke science. And I think nothing can stop what's coming, you guys. But I think you all know that. So we'll be right back with Clint Westwood. Grab something red, grab your friend, jump in the live chat with all of our great friends, and make sure you like and share this video. We'll be right back right after this. Happy Memorial Day weekend, Westwood. Good to see you.
Well, it's good to see you too, lovely Litecoin Lisa. Always.
What a wild weekend. It feels really strange to me. It's a little bit early this year because of the way the weeks are falling. Memorial weekend. Yeah, typically Memorial weekend's like on the 30th, 31st.
It is? It's been on my mother's birthday, and I'm not going to say what date it is before, and that's not that late. I don't know. What's the definition of it? I mean, because it's like Easter with the moon and the sun thing. How do we determine Memorial Day? Is like the X?
Really? So Monday? To me, it's always like the 30th, the 31st. But my great birthday is the 25th, and I was always her favorite. I always have to throw that part in there. Yeah. But I love my little Grandma Jesus, and
dogs over here hacking on a freaking.
I know. You try to give them a treat. That's why you can't.
I know they can't abuse.
Yeah. You know. That's interesting. So you remember it being earlier?
I mean, I don't know. I don't remember it being late. Okay, so what is it? Is it like the fourth Monday in the month or something? Because it's always on a Monday. It's got to be tied to the Monday.
The last Monday of the month.
Is it the last Monday of the month or the? Okay. Well,
that is my understanding.
Well, it could be the 31st.
Correct me in the chat if I'm wrong.
Somebody hook us up.
I thought it was always the last Monday of the month. Let's grok it up. Why not? Let me put my.
Hey, why not put all our faith in AI? It's the future.
It's the same thing as. The same thing as.
It's easier than Googling all this stuff. Multiple pages open and all.
Right. It's the same thing as Googling.
Kind of big.
It looked for you.
Basically, it's like, hey, go look this up.
Yeah.
Secretary.
Search
go do this for me. Give me a coffee.
Well, let me share my screen first. So Grok. Okay.
Grok me harder, baby.
What would I ask? How is Memorial Day usually decided?
Yeah. What determines the date of Memorial Day?
Okay. What determines?
Oh, I don't know. I've never used it, so I'm just like, throwing stuff out there.
What determines the date for Memorial Day? The last Monday in May each year.
Well, there you go. And you were correct.
Oh, thank you. You could say that again.
And you were correct. I checked back, and you were correct.
You are correct. So this year it will be on May 26th. And then in 2026, it will be on my grandmother's birthday on May 25th. It is
All right,
not
then.
to a specific numerical day, but rather to the last Monday.
Okay. So it could be on the 31st. It could be on what, the 24th?
Oh, but then here, this is the part that I remember. Historically, Memorial Day, originally called Decoration Day, was observed on May 30th.
Okay.
But the shift to the last Monday was made for consistency and convenience. That's what, see, I remembered it being like the 30th, the 31st, the 30th. And then, so they made it so that it would be a Monday, so we'd have a 3-day weekend. So it was passed by Congress in 68 and effectively since 71 to make certain federal holidays fall on Mondays to create long weekends. The Uniform Monday Holiday Act was when that changed. Since we were born. Ish.
Okay.
Actually, that's
yeah, because if it's a floating holiday, like the 30th, I was doing AI and grokking it up, and doing all this stuff right now, and it comes back and it says that's so that you have a 3-day weekend.
Yes.
Instead of like on a Wednesday, like St. Patrick's Day on a Tuesday. It's like really couldn't have been on a Monday or a Friday, even a Thursday. I mean, you can kind of swing it, and take Friday off, kind of thing. Yeah, but if it's on a Tuesday or something, it's like,
well, so that's where this came from, was the Uniform Monday Holiday Act passed by Congress in 68 and effective.
Got to keep it good for the people. Give them their bread and circuses.
All the manipulation of our time.
Yes. The unofficial start of summer, Memorial Day. You need to buy a mattress? Now's the time. Appliances, come on down. We'll give you a free potato. Yeah.
All the public pools.
Mm-hmm.
Or cesspools.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever you need. So.
Well, there it is.
There you go.
All righty then.
So much happening, as always. I don't know if I want to get into all my weird science first or
weird science. Bring out Kelly LeBrock.
Yeah.
Steven Seagal. He's huge. I mean, he was at some Russian thing. You see how big he is?
That can't be him, though.
I mean, I could set my whiskey glass on top of his stomach. I mean,
He looked like a weeble wobble.
Oh, I mean, it was just like, whoop.
It did not look like, because he used to be really,
his body's under siege right now.
Yeah, but he was so, his whole lifestyle was under so much, what word am I trying to come up with?
Grok it up.
No, sorry.
Or pull out a thesaurus.
I have too many things in my head right now.
Thesaurus. It's that ancient dinosaur. Nobody knows about the thesaurus.
The thesaurus. No, but he was under so much, training and all that with all of the martial arts that it's shocking to see if that's really him.
You know what happens though? What happens look at athletes like in high school and they don't go to college, or in college and they don't go anywhere pros after that. They do, I mean, think about it. Think of the amount of food that you have to eat. I mean, just that energy that you need. And then you keep doing it after you stop competing, and then you kind of gradually, you know what I mean? You don't change your lifestyle when your lifestyle changes, and you keep doing the same stuff. And the next thing you know, you're hitting your head on a table and not waking up. I mean,
so
anyway,
I don't know. I remember seeing an interview with him, like showing his house or something. I don't know if that was back when like cribs of the rich and famous were popular or something, but like he had this like very, Japanese style home, and it was just, everything was meticulous. And there's like a garden you walk through in the first, part of his house, and everything was just, very detailed, and it reflected all the training and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, the discipline.
discipline. That's the
Yeah.
word I'm looking for.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
All the discipline that went
wasn't sure.
into.
I activated Neuralink and then Grok, connected, and
Thank
then
you.
that
Yes.
filled it. Yeah.
Yeah. Which that goes to my nerdy science stuff. Like, I love science. I did not know I love science so much, but
It's just the search for truth if done correctly, right?
yeah.
So.
Well, I like the idea that you can like look into things, you can research things, and then it doesn't give you an answer. It unpacks more questions, and you can then take that, research, and you can accept those results, or you can then continue to question that and take it further or turn it in a different direction. What are you going to do with that now? Even this stuff that, Uncle Cliff was tweeting this stuff about the qualia, and he was saying, don't mess with me. And I was sure it's okay.
It's a 3X, and I'm not filling it out anymore. I'm like, I'm feeling a little small. I'm used to being a little bit bigger.
No, you look great.
Well, thanks, but I wasn't fishing for a compliment. I'm kind of like, maybe I should eat
And did
more.
you get your hair cut today?
No, I didn't. I told my daughter before she left for work, I said, you got any hairspray down there? Because what happens is, it's getting a little too shaggy, and I'm like, I just can't leave it how it is. And so I just like wet it, and then that's it. So.
Interesting.
Little I know I'm fancy sometimes. I'm a little primp
You do
boy.
get fancy.
Little primpy boy,
Do you get Parker Blair fancy though? Pinkies up.
Mm-hmm. I do. If you notice, there are certain things when I grab them and drink them, I put the pinky up. Oh, it's just automatic.
I've watched you.
I
also noticed last night, a gentleman popped on. It's kind of early in the show to discuss this, but we can call you out every once in a while.
There are certain things that we shouldn't discuss that were discussed last night.
That's true.
Let's just draw the line.
High heels and
Nancy Sinatra stuff.
All the different ways that can be interpreted. Someone was asking you about washing machines.
Yes. Of all things to come up in spaces, I had an answer, and we both had the same conclusion. We hadn't even talked about it before. We both wanted the same machine.
A Speed Queen.
A Speed Queen, baby. Mm-hmm. Have you seen a Speed Queen?
I don't know what a Speed Queen is. However, I did gematria that.
Search it up and get a picture of it, and you'll be like, that's like grandma. It's like a box with a couple of twist dials on it.
Maybe I should search it up. Maybe we should look up what
quality, baby. It's all about the quality. Easy to work on. That was his point. It's like, I need something that's going to work.
Oh, it's much younger than I thought it was. Okay. I will share this with you guys.
I almost brought a Speed Queen, but certain queens like things. Certain things.
There you go. Speed Queen.
Yeah.
Interesting.
They're based in what? Wisconsin or Minnesota or something. I don't know. Somewhere around.
I don't know. This whole conversation just was the most bizarre thing.
It's from a guy perspective, though. It's like, you want to make your woman happy. You really do. But you want something reliable. I mean, all the bells and whistles and all the little cycles and all that stuff and all the electronics, that's just headaches. Things go wrong and you can't find parts. And then the next thing you know, you're buying a new one. And it's like, I don't want to buy a new one. I want to fix this one because it should work.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe that's what you're doing.
Yeah. So anyway.
Okay. That may be a whole nother discussion. So interesting.
I think it's Speed Queen. Maybe I had the wrong one. I get a little confused sometimes. I'm thinking it's Speed Queen. It's very expensive, right?
It's pretty expensive. Like,
okay, that's it then. It's a Speed Queen.
They look like something out of the 80s.
I'm not talking about some guy on the strip that's really fast. No, I'm not talking that. I'm talking about the actual washer and dryer. The Speed Queen. That's the right term, isn't it? I mean, it's the right brand, unless I'm forgetting. I mean, then it really takes another twist. No, seriously, it's a Speed Queen. Look it up. Speaking of Speed Queens, 583 guys. I don't even know if that's a queen, though, right? What's her name? The blue chick.
The what?
But what's the girl's name? Bonnie Blue or something? I think it was like 583 and how many, whatever. Then she gets arrested, of course. Oh, I got arrested. Give me a break. I think it's probably staged. I don't know.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
The girl that's like with all the dudes.
Oh, that was.
Isn't that her name? Bonnie Blue?
I didn't know. I don't know.
I don't know either. I'm just.
Someone got arrested. No, I'm trying to find the part where I was just showing you the thing.
I know you've got your own thing that you're working on, and I'm just like all over doing weird stuff.
Yeah. No, the thing that I just
drag
showed
you back
you
in, reel
where
me
we
in.
went live, and now I can't find it on.
What are we talking about? You're talking about space stuff?
Yeah.
Other side of the moon, dark side of the moon stuff?
Yes. Where
Okay.
he just said, no, but he just said,
Okay, Mark corrected me. See, I'm fine. If somebody corrects me, I mean, it's just that I got a little bit of, I'm a little bit on the spectrum. I just a smidge. I mean, in a couple of ways.
Apparently we all are.
Well, we all are. I mean, it's a big rainbow, you know, there's different colors, you know, gradients, and you know, I'm like a speck between this color and that color, you know.
Okay, that brings up, I can go down that rabbit hole.
And it could be over here, it could be up here, it could be there, you know, it's just like.
That brings up, so Maha came out today and he said that, and Trump was speaking, they came out, there's some really heartbreaking, incredible statements about, now they are, Pfizer and Moderna are now putting warning labels on the jabs. Public knowledge that it causes heart issues in young men. This guy said that actually in the first term of pregnancies, that showed a 87% miscarriage rate in women who got the jab. It was as effective as Plan B.
Wow. What about men who identify as women? What was the rate?
Stop it.
I'm going to Dr. Thorpe. And I'm going to probably interrupt you because I want everybody to understand what you're talking about in this study, because we're talking about numbers here, but describe that study on, would you call it fetal demise, miscarriage, and how it was originally presented as evidence to push this on the most vulnerable, as you're saying, pregnant women and the unborn. And how did they
How cruel this is.
distort that study to make that point? Go ahead.
Thank you, Senator Johnson. So the study in question is a New England Journal of Medicine on April 21st, 2021. And in that same day, the digital edition, there were two publications that were extraordinarily concerning. Both of them, interestingly, coming at a time when vaccine hesitancy was increasing. So the Shimabukuro study was a separate study in addition to an op-ed. The op-ed was by the New England Journal of Medicine, editor-in-chief, who was Eric Rubin, and the managing editor, who was Stephen Morrissey, and then director of the CDC, Rochelle Walensky. And they made statements that were false. They made statements that was fear-mongering, insinuating that pregnant women, if they didn't take the vaccine, would put their lives in harm, their preborn lives in harm, and their newborn lives in harm, when they knew absolutely the opposite was true.
How did they know that?
Well, they know that for several reasons, Senator. Number one, the study by Pinnells and colleagues, who is a maternal fetal medicine specialist from University of Texas, Houston, published a very large study documenting that pregnancy in of itself reduced the maternal mortality by as much as 75% during pregnancy compared to non-pregnant women. That study was available. Also, Dr. Shimabukuro, Tom Shimabukuro, and then director of the CDC. This was 7 weeks after the Pfizer 5.3.6 post-marketing data in 10 weeks that showed the COVID-19 vaccine was the deadliest and most injurious vaccine ever released, with 42,086 injuries, including 1,223 dead. They had that information. They still pushed it on pregnant women.
So they knew. Like, that is so sick.
Of course they knew. Yeah, I mean, you have the Vaccine Injury Act, whatever it was called, in 1986, and unfortunately, Reagan signed it. He probably wasn't in his right mind. I mean, but it doesn't matter. He did, and so they have immunity.
Or did he use the pen?
Well, yeah, exactly. Somebody used the pen. But yeah, it got to that point. Well, they tried to take him out, because George, waiting in line in 1981, Mr. former CIA director, and happened to be in Dallas on November 22nd, 1963. I mean, so you've got that kind of situation, totally deep state run, totally, intelligence agencies run, and all the good old boy networks, because that's really what it was. But I mean, of course they knew. Of course they knew. It's all about profits. And I mean, we knew at the time, a lot of people did. And here's the thing. I feel bad. I feel badly because they did use fear mongering, and that's what they've always done. Just like Condoleezza Rice. That was what I was thinking about here, like the Walensky thing. Here she is after 9/11, 2001. Oh, we had no idea that planes would ever attack buildings while they're running drills the same day, for the thing. And it's just like, you're a bunch of liars. I mean, all it is, are using fear, deception, all these things to control people. And what do they use? They're going to use your children. They're going to use your grandparents. They're going to use your parents. Oh, you're not going to be able to see them. So it's fear mongering. And that's all it is. I mean, at some point, unfortunately, it takes longer to wake up sometimes. And it's just, I mean, all they want to do is inflict damage on you and profit off you. I mean, that's all they're doing. I mean, that's all it is. And continue their little control system. And they're going to use every tool at their disposal. And I mean, it sucks. I mean, it sucks because we've all been duped at some point. We really have. And it's just that, unfortunately, sometimes they're doing some bad stuff,
Some real bad stuff.
Real bad stuff.
Real.
And that's what I mean. I put in the chat, hang them high. I mean, that's what it comes down to. I mean, I can look at it karmically in a lot of ways. It'll work itself out. And it's like, listen, we're all just here for a time, and it's it's all about lessons. So we go on and we learn those lessons because it doesn't end. It's just that it does kind of piss you off, though, because some of these people get away with stuff, and it's like, here we are trying to build a better society. Get along with each other, be able to love each other, be able to go to the park, and not, and not worry about, this and that happening. And then you got these people pulling strings, Geppetto things, and pulling, like little puppeteers. And it's like, you know what? At some point, you kind of get tired of it, and it's just like, we're kind of done with this crap. And you're way outnumbered, and it's just, we're done playing games. I don't want to play the games anymore. Done. And you have a posse, and that's the end of it. And so, I don't know. Does that time come, or do we have an orderly transition, which I think is probably a better plan? But is justice served? Do you get the visceral justice in that kind of system? I don't know that you do. You know what I mean? But if you get the visceral justice, you get a French Revolution, and then that could get way out of control. And then somebody's going to hijack that anyway. When the emotions get flowing. So it's a tough one, but that's what we're here to do. We're here to learn and experience, and we have to choose our future. What we want is really what it comes down to.
Well, I do recommend that everyone go watch this latest Sean Ryan interview. I will say, like, Uncle Cliff was tweeting out this about the, so apparently, where he's pushed back on quantum before, but there was recently, so Microsoft released its quantum, we have quantum interview or capabilities, and people were like, oh, I don't believe in it. I'm not sure. Oh, it is capable, but once we create a quantum computer, like, it can only be created for one solution, and then it's to be destroyed. Well, there's clearly some things that are happening out there. And this guy does a great job. This latest guy, oh gosh, I can't remember his name. And it's like something, hold on, I'll find it. It's the latest one on Sean Ryan, but he talks about basically like the God particle kind of being discovered, and we all have to figure out. And this goes hand in hand with the EOs that were signed today by Donald Trump. Oh, I can't hear you. You're muted. You're muted. You're muted.
What happened today? Because I missed it. I was out doing
Okay.
silly things,
Okay.
all the silly things today.
Okay. So not only they signed a bunch of EOs that have to do with nuclear power, which will be the bridge until this other, the radio frequency from solar satellite that I was telling you about a little bit earlier.
Yes.
Until that, because that is going to take a little bit of time for them to get the Lego pieces to out.
I'm listening. I'm letting her out.
Fine,
She's
fine.
being bad.
It will take a little while because they have to get the satellite pieces up, past the dangerous part of travel to be able to get solar energy on these satellite things. So they were like talking about, look, I have this company, but if you send satellites up in space, they have to be strong enough to withstand the travel through space. Well, so what if we take the satellites in a Lego box and travel them through space and then use robotics to put them together there where it's a softer, safer environment, and then have the solar collected there. Then they have a mechanism or a way to send that energy through to beam it here in a radio wave that is not harmful to humans, and then collect it in a, I'm going to say it wrong. It's like the
Modulate it somehow to where
like a rectangle and a antenna. Rectina or something like that. They receive it in like an antenna, but the radio wave, and then in that energy source, and then it's able to put, and this will be a series of steps. And so that's why right now there were EOs signed today about releasing nuclear energy, because that's going to be a safe way to give us immediate energy, but in a safe way.
yeah, absolutely.
But we have to innovate. It's also removing regulation, which has held back American innovation for so many years, since the 70s, and they admitted it, because you've had to jump. Watched it with blockchain over and over. There were so many companies that left America because you could not build blockchain technology in America because of the stifling regulation. We watched it, yes, everything we need is already here. Exactly. And it's already, but I do think, the way they're kind of talking and hinting and coding around and calming, they're going to have to turn it off to turn it back on, kind of thing. So we may go through something like that. Yes, Stephen Quast. And so that's who Sean Ryan's latest interview is with, Stephen Quast. And so this is what they're talking about. It's already there, and they already have it built, but they've had to be quiet about it because of the attacks. And so, and China, that's why China has been mining helium-3, because if you can cool the quantum computers, then they're going to be ahead of us. They've been using strategy over technology because they have a plan. How China plans for the
Always. They plan for generations ahead, as opposed to, hey, what's the next quarter bring?
Right. And so he was saying, like, planning strategy will beat technology every time. And that's where we have to release innovation in America. And he was talking about how Russians have some of the most brilliant minds, because they run I can't think what it's called. They let their kids like go out and play in nature and fight and
Oh, you mean like learn how things work,
Right.
how, yeah,
critical
absolutely.
thinking.
Right.
And-
Figuring out problem solving,
Yes.
how do I get home when it's dark?
Yes. And I am, you are the one that turned me on to the plasma balls and jumping dimensions. And I am grateful for all of you guys that bring information to this discussion. And this is where community, we make each other better by having these discussions. Like, this is the stuff that I love our community and how we make each other more together. And I think that is how America innovates, is that we keep asking questions. And that's where I love the science thing, because as somebody finds something, it's not the end of that question. There's another question waiting. It's like, wait, somebody just discovered something. Now, what are you going to do with that?
Right.
Where's the next question? What leads to the next innovation with what was found? You know,
Yeah. The more you know, the more you don't know.
right,
The more you know that you don't know.
right.
And it's just that ongoing quest for truth and knowledge, and more and more, because it's infinite.
Yeah,
Infinite, like the universe. I mean, that's it. And then we use what, 10% of our brains?
yeah. Well, and Stephen
Imagine.
Quast was even saying, he said, we're building
3%.
the logistics of this energy structure, but we're so excited to see what technologies and new industries are going to be, what is going to be done with it.
Yeah.
Like, they're building,
Trailblazing it.
facilitating the free energy pathway, but what are Americans going to do with this? What are we the people going to build with this and do with this? Like, that's all up to us. And he talks about, especially at the very end of the interview, he says there will be, it's a very much agorism without being in your face. But if you listen, he talks about there is this legislative, and they talk about taxing and whatever, and you can either figure out for them, okay, here's my model and here's how you can tax me, or you figure out how your model operates outside that system, and you build it outside that system. You build a parallel system like the agorism talks about. And so there are those opportunities coming with these new wireless power. Yes, exactly what Mark was talking about, wireless power that Tesla was working on, all of this. And he even talks about water, alternative water sources out of not the ether necessarily, but out of the environment, or bringing
It's everywhere. I mean, it's everywhere. You wake up in the morning, and there's dew on the grass.
H2O. There's water in the air.
I mean, it's abundant here. I mean, that's what we survive on, and yet it's everywhere. And yet we have water shortages, and people are, thirsting to death.
We are in a world of abundance.
And they create artificial scarcity. I think they have a problem going forward, because this is what we talked about. This is the core of it. As AI evolving very quickly, it's going to be very hard to hide the truth. It's going to be very hard to hide information.
Mhm.
And even the own AIs, I mean, they will compete against each other to uncover it. I mean, it will get uncovered. And that's it. We're at this revealing phase. And I don't know, what is that, the Aquarian age? I don't know, whatever it is, the pouring out of knowledge, the water. I mean, but that's where we're at. And you kind of see it happening to where it is just, nothing can stop what's coming. I mean, really, that's what it is. And it's just like, it's this great awakening, whatever you want to call it. It's just, you're at that point where there's so much access to so much information that has always been there. It's just been so disparate that you can't put it together. It's like going to the library when you're a kid, and it's like, that book is not here. Can you get it here? Interlibrary loan, please get the book. And, but you don't have access to it. And it's like, I need that book. It's not here. Got to wait 3 weeks. So he's got it checked out. We'll sign their name on the card. And it's just, but now, nothing. I mean, we've got access right here. We have access in a little personal computer right here. But then you take it a next step further to where it's like, okay, it's not just this. You're prompting this, and then this goes out to this giant super Borg computer brain that's tied into every friggin' library that's ever existed, and then it's like, let's bring it all back. A very cohesive a form that you can understand in the voice that you want to hear. It might be a sexy voice, it might not be, and you can pick your voice, and then it's right there at your fingertips in seconds. I mean, it's just it goes out and finds all this, and then you ask it another question, and deeper, and that's where the memory comes in. That's where all the chips come in, because it's got to retain the original question and play off of it. And that's where it gets really, you need a lot of resources to do that. I mean, one question, not a big deal. But I mean, and so that's where you need this energy. That's where you need these things to
But
be
it's not
able to.
electricity, like Simply Human is saying. Like, we've been distracted by this thing calling it electricity.
No, you're right. We live in a plasma universe. I can, I've talked about that with other
Yeah.
people, the tornadoes, the lightning, and all that stuff. It's all plasma based. I mean, it really
It's
is.
that anti-gravity, gravity.
Yeah.
And it's not even gravity. It's magnets.
Yeah, exactly. Magnetism more than anything. I don't
It's
think it's gravity so
magnetic
much, it's right.
And that is perpetual energy, or not? Is it? Yeah, perpetual energy.
Mhm.
I gotta make sure I don't say electricity.
Yeah, electricity.
Perpetual energy is through magnetic,
Right.
and we're all magnetic. I mean, think of how we're drawn
Absolutely.
together, and
I know.
poles,
I
and
know. Like the dog over here likes to hump my leg. She's drawn to me for some reason. I don't know what it
the
is.
dog loves your leg.
I know she does. And it's both legs. It's not just one.
Oh, she's bipolar.
Actually, she's kind of ish. I think she's
Anyway,
got a lot of male genes in her too. I don't know. She's a weird one.
I don't know. Anyway, I hope I didn't bore you guys with my geeking out, but I love this stuff. Like, I can't tell you. I will probably watch it again tonight, because I just love it. I feel like to me, it brings hope in the darkness when we're like seeing all this terrible stuff and all the movie and the bad stuff and the hate and all that. And I'm like, no, this is the good part. Like, this is the good stuff. This is why we're going through all that, to be freed from the lie, the movie,
doesn't it seem so low level now? I mean, all
Yeah.
the things that have happened to where it's like you're way up here, and it's like y'all are trying to clunk around on the
Drag me
stage and
down
drag
with
out equipment and
racial
costumes.
hate. Yes.
It's like, come on,
I
we're
don't
so done with this.
Yes. I do not have time for that.
No, exactly. It's like,
Anti-Semitic conversation. Be gone with you. Yeah. I don't
my
know.
God is better than your God. But isn't it kind of the same God? I mean, if you really look at it, it's like you're all triumvirating the God.
We'll ask him what his name is and let me know. I had one of my favorite pastor friends when I was like going through like the whole, trying to figure it all out. And I was like, every day, I have this question. Blah, blah, blah. And one day he's like, I was wearing him out. He's like, you know what? I heard when you get there, when you get to heaven, you can, at the gates, you can stop. And there's a book. It's kind of to the right on the side. And you can stop and read and ask and get all the answers you want.
But I don't have that book here.
Well, or you can just go inside.
Yeah.
Just be in heaven.
Well, I just want to make sure. I just gotta know for sure. I want all the details. And it's like, hey, it's a big forest. I'm going in it. I don't care if it's a beech tree. I don't care if it's this tree. I like the forest. I find a Sasquatch. Never know. No, I get you. That's pretty cool. It's we overthink things sometimes. We would need all the answers, and it's just, it's sometimes the answers are just right in front of your face all the freaking time.
Mostly the answers right in front of your face.
They really are. They are right there, right in front of you.
Oh man. Yeah, I love hearing about it and I love talking about it with my friends. I do get a little overexcited about it sometimes.
Geeking out right now.
I apologize.
No, I love it.
Yeah. I get
Yeah, really, do you not feel that there's kind of a shift? I mean, I do. I mean, I feel that, it's almost like I kind of let go of all that stuff. And,
well, especially when he starts talking about like the quantum entanglement stuff and that, that makes so much sense to me. And then linking it with the Mandela effect, that's why, like, you can't go back and prove it but your soul knows there's a there.
Exactly. And that's it.
When Cliff talks about the qualia thing, and like, I can't I send you all this stuff and I'm like, listen, there's a there, and I just know in my gut. And like,
Exactly.
when I saw Sean Ryan, I think he was like jumping himself out of the gang on
Didn't it feel that way? Almost like, I'm kind of just the body language. And, this is where we need David, what is it, David Allen Oates or what it was that he did, reverse speech. I mean, you want to like take his and then reverse it, because sometimes that leaks out in reverse speech. I mean, it's just that subconscious outletting. And I mean, you feel it sometimes. You don't even have to reverse the speech and, analyze
and
it.
here's the thing, like you say,
feel that
trust
something's there.
yourself. When you
Exactly.
feel that strongly, that's where this is where the tide has turned. And where people go, oh, show me a link. Post the resource. You know what? You're not my people.
Hey, you want to see a resource? I got your resource right here.
Yeah.
You want it or not?
Yeah. And you know what? Maybe that message was not for them.
Right.
That's okay.
Right. We're all on different paths.
Yeah.
Some like to wind and go around the bottom of the mountain and then circle and circle and circle. And some like to go straight up. I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah. I will tell you that guy did say to look at the third body problem, or the three body problem. What's it called? And I think it's the book that, my little friend Skullcap was telling me to look at. Three body problem. What's it, Skullcap? What's it called? Three body problem?
Put in the chat. He's in here.
Yeah.
I know. I love it. He's a great resource. He's like another.
He
little
is
guy.
a great resource.
Because, I'm like, I'm fishing for the word. I don't know what it is. Oh, yeah. Transmutation. That's the word. Cool.
I believe it's three body problem, but it's talking about kind of that quantum entanglement stuff. And so if two things, and to me, that resonates with where I was saying, hey, we can jump this 4D prison, which is time, which is in the dollar. We can go to another dimension. We don't change our address. Our DNA doesn't change, because that's maybe our address, our soul address, our contract, maybe our honor contract, like Cliff was tweeting about honor contracts. Maybe that's our honor contract. That doesn't change who we are, how you identify who you are. Maybe you can jump a dimension because you don't change who you are, but you're in a different dimension, and you don't have to be in hell anymore. You don't have to be in 4D. We can all jump to 6.
Yeah.
When they said, after Shitface Shift said, 8647 or whatever, and then people were tweeting out, I got your 647. Maybe that was part of going to 6. See?
It could be. And see, I don't even know. It's so confusing to me. I can't even do it. I mean, 3D, 4D, 5D, 7D, I don't even know. And so I'm just like
6-9. We have to go sacred geometry.
Okay.
Just go with me. I love all geeking out about it.
No, I know. I love that you geek out. And it's just, this is where I'm just like, I see the big forest. I mean, and that's where I'm just like, I get it. I don't need details. I understand
third
it.
body problem, or
it's like looking at art. It's like, oh, let me break down this art for you. And this is why this is there, that pixel's there. And I don't care. I love it. That's all I need to know. I love the art. It's beautiful, and I'm good with it.
Okay.
And I don't know what makes it up and how it makes it up. I just know that my soul loves it. And that's just kind of how I look at things. And so, no, I love that you break it down. It's just, for me, I'm the forest guy. I love the forest. You know what I mean? I don't need to know the individual trees. That's just me, though.
This is the
I
guy.
appreciate people like you who can break it down, because I don't do that. And I'm like, yeah, that makes sense, but I kind of resonate with it anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So this is the guy. This is the high level early on in the interview. But he says how important it is, how we know that they manipulate things to manipulate us, and how we can cut the cable. They cut the cable on the phone, cut the cable on the TV. Soon we'll cut the cable on
spectrum domain, this future where the electromagnetic spectrum
domain.
can do everything we've seen done over the last 30 years. We cut the cable on the phone. We cut the cable on the TV, and soon we'll cut the cable on electricity.
Wow.
That electromagnetic spectrum and what we know about it and how we know how to manipulate it is truly why we need to find truth. And because if we don't find truth, we continue to be slaves to the people that want us to believe that plugging your phone into the wall is the only way electricity works. And taxation for incrementally innovating for an infrastructure that was built to win the last war, but not investing in things that will win the next war. This is the trap of history, and this is why no civilization has ever survived. They go on this sine wave of birth and vigor and critical thinking and aggressiveness at economic security and then military might to secure the peace. And then they get lazy and they lose it all and they're vanquished by another civilization. And this is what the great hope of America is that we can turn the tide of human nature that has created that cyclical sine wave of civilizations, and we can start innovating again. Because if we don't, we're dead men walking.
That is the key. We have to search for truth.
Yeah, definitely.
And we have to innovate or we're dead men.
Yeah, and like you said, the manipulation of electricity. He told you right there, they harnessed it, they manipulated it, they put wires up, it's all coiled, it's on poles, it's all very captured. It's like a big fence. I look out here and I see the wires going across with the poles, and it's like it's a big prison. You need this. This is what you need, and we're going to feed you, and you're going to pay for it. And it's 100%. I mean, but then a storm rolls through, and you look at all the power and the lightning and a tornado, and you look at all of the energy that's out there, the wireless energy that's out there, that's from the heavens to the earth, and it's like, haven't figured that out, I guess, huh? Or have we? And it's just been a big prison planet, to quote Alex Jones.
I mean, I love this stuff. I can't wait to dig into it more. And like I said, Cliff was posting about that quantum computer that just awakened, and I can't remember the name of the satellite. They thought this satellite had mostly turned to junk and turned off. And it not only turned on, it sent back a signal that mirrored or matched the quantum computer's message. And they were like, it was something that was created in the 70s. It should not have the capability of sending that message back. So it wasn't just listening, it was responding. So they were talking about that was proof of quantum entanglement of this dead satellite. It was wild. It's very exciting. And that's where I'm that's all that we live in a plasma world. So
yeah, it makes me think of Ghostbusters. It slimed me, ectoplasm. That's what they call it, ectoplasm. That's the whole thing. Yeah, I mean, it's that weird substance, again, there's all these substances, in the air and the ether that we can't put words on. But, that's why I don't even know. I can't even define it, but it's there. I mean, there's that magic there, and that's how else do you define it? It's a magical thing because you don't understand it. It's magic. Oh, this lady got cut in half. That's magic, because you don't understand it. But it's there and it happens, and yeah, it's just there and it's not being tapped. There's just so much out there.
I have to go pretty soon. I'm super excited. I do want to give a big shout out and a big hug to my friend, Be Remarkable. If you're not following her on YouTube, please go follow her. She was really giving me big hugs and big good energy last night on Spaces. And she asked all of our fam bam to send big positive energy. And we have a showing tonight for the house. So we were driving back from Mom's and got a call from the realtor. So we have to, I have to go vacuum really quick and make sure all the toilet lids are down and all the
Yes.
lights are on.
Exactly. My grandfather taught me that. Always put the seat down when you're
I know,
done.
but I have 2 boys and I have to just double check because
Make sure
it's never know.
you got to do that. And I'm like, why? Because
Because no one
ladies
wants to
like
look
that.
at that.
The ladies like that.
Yes.
And I'm like,
When you're
okay.
looking at a house, no one wants to look at that. But I do want to share this. This was exciting because there have been a lot of, and I'm going to have Andy on soon to discuss this as well. There have been a lot of articles lately talking about how, people aren't even putting money into silver now because it's so suppressed and gold's going up so much and you shouldn't even look at silver anymore. And then Uncle Cliff reposts this.
He's like, dude,
Silver's
bro.
moment is the big long for the other monetary metal. 5 silver takeaways from the IGW report 2025. Chronic supply deficit.
Mhm.
2025 will be the 5th consecutive year of silver deficits. Total shortfall 800 million ounces,
Mhm.
equal to a full year of mine production. Solar surge continues. Photovoltaics, I'm proud of myself for saying that, hit an all-time high of 1.87 MOZ silver demand in 2024, blah, blah, blah. Then he goes on to all these other things. Battery boom, all the things that, of course, VIX talks about.
Yep.
Gold-silver ratio, mean reversion. If gold reaches 3,000, historical ratio implies silver 55 to 63 ounces plus 48, 95% upside from today. India silver resonance. India imported 225 MOZ of silver in 2024. Silver ETP holdings could surpass 200 MOZ by 2027. A cultural giant meets digital investing. Let me also say that India this week also cut ties with the BRICS.
Yeah.
And made a commitment to the US dollar.
Yeah, see, that's a big deal because
And
the
then
BRICS thing, that whole fear mongering thing, oh my gosh, they're going to take down the dollar. What I've always said is that he who has the resources wins. And that's what you're seeing play out right now. You're seeing the shuffling of the deck, and it's like, hey, what you got? You got nothing. So if you're not going to play over here in this game to where we don't need you, and yeah, it might be painful at first, because you got to bring back, all the. You got the gold, you got the silver, you got the oil, you got the farmland. I mean, you got all the things. I mean, that's where America is positioned very well. And if we do the right thing, everybody wants to play ball in this ballpark, girl. Everybody. And because they know they have to. And so that's what I see happening right now, the reshuffling. And it's just like, listen, we ain't playing this game. We're not outsourcing everything so people can get rich and corporations can get rich and, individuals can get rich and we'll be on the backs of, the Chinese labor, no. Yeah. It comes down to a point right now where I think it comes down to an asset world. What do you have that has value? And, you don't have to be the asshole in the room that says, hey, F you, you don't have anything, I'm going to screw you. No. I want everybody to get along. I want everybody to have what they need. However, you got to realize we got the bats, baby. I mean, we got everything. We got the whole team in place.
It's an exciting time to say,
It is.
look what I have.
If you do it right.
And then look around and say, who can I help? What can we do? What can we change? Look at these.
Exactly.
Look at this abundance in our world.
Yes.
And what
abundance.
can we
live
do?
in a world of abundance.
We live in a world of abundance.
Yep.
My house is sold. Thank you, I am for AM. You're exactly right. We are, moving to this next stage in our life. We have resources. We are all abundant. We have amazing friends in our life. We have abundance around us.
Priceless. Yeah. Priceless energy.
Yes. I love all of you. That's right. You guys are wonderful. And I'm forever grateful for all of you and all that I've learned from all of you and the places that we're going. We have the meetup coming up. In June 20th.
June 20th, baby.
Illinois. Go to clintwestwood.net for more information. It will be a great time. And you are going to be headed to the Litecoin Summit next week.
Yes, I am. So here's the thing. Next happy hour, we'll see what happens. I'll hit you up, and then maybe we can do something. I don't know. It just depends on, it's hard. I can't guarantee anything.
Don't
I'd
worry
love
about
to
it.
do
We'll figure it out.
just a little bit. I mean, bring everybody in, everybody who's there. Say hi. That kind of thing.
Yeah, who knows? We'll figure it
Yeah,
out. Maybe
we'll go live.
we'll go live for a minute. You guys can say hi, and then I'll do a
And
show.
I'll be like, I'm hot. I got to go back to the room.
That's
I'm sweating.
who knows what'll happen. We'll wing it. We're good at winging it. So
Absolutely.
I'm gonna go vacuum and close toilet.
You're going to get this house sold, and you're going to win. You're going to win so much, you're going to get tired of winning.
Already sold. It's already sold.
It's already done. It's
They're
already done.
driving from another town, and they asked to spend an hour here. So I think it's already sold. So,
I love it.
love to you all. And
Are you hopping in on Spaces tonight?
oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I love it.
I have to save her number for me. I don't know what that means. I'm saving somebody's number for Charlie G. I have to go feed my family. And then here we go. You guys all have a great week. Everybody travel safe next week.
Yeah.
All my love to all of you. And everyone have a wonderful Memorial Day weekend. Much love to all of our soldiers and their families that lost their loved ones. And we're forever grateful to all of you.
Yes, to everybody who has sacrificed something out of their life. Definitely. We appreciate that.
Liberty is not a pill that makes men angels. What it does do is limit the extent to which evil can be expressed in the world.
America is not the government, people. The America is you. It is the Grand fucking Canyon, the Rocky Mountains, the deserts of the Southwest, the Pacific fucking Ocean, the Atlantic fucking Ocean. It is the grandest continent. And what the fuck have you people done? You have turned yourself into sheep, every goddamn one of you.